Ahoy there, Elder Scrolls Legends fans. I'm Dead Broke Nerd, and I've got another deck that I'm testing. This is a Doomcrag Warrior variant that was created by a friend of the channel, Neon Greensleeves. Awesome deck creator, great theory crafter, somebody who always comes up with some crazy things for us streamers to play around with. As far as I know, he is a huge fan of the Doomcrag Vampire, and when Doomcrag's core synergies between Namira Shrine and Disciple of Namira were nerfed, he's been searching around for ways to make it playable, and I think we've stumbled across something promising here, and that is, of course, using the Fated Wraith as the new draw engine to cycle through your deck and eventually use Journey to Sovngarde. Now, I know everybody's getting sick of Fated Wraith. I know Redoran hand buff is a little bit crazy right now, but this is a very hard control deck that can pretty much win in the very late game against most decks. There's very few things that can beat that in the very late game, thanks to the insane removal that Doomcrag Vampire offers alongside things like Ashlander Zealots, Sharpshooter Scouts, Stormcloak Vanguards, and of course the Tiny Dargon. Doomcrag Vampire, in case you were unfamiliar, will give creatures in its lane lethal. So, of course, if you have the Doomcrag out and you play the Ashlander Zealot, which battles an enemy creature, or the Sharpshooter Scout, which deals 1 damage, it will kill anything. You know, anybody who's been playing for a while should be familiar with this synergy, of course. It's a rather expensive deck, so I don't blame people for not wanting to go ahead and craft it up. It might not be worth crafting. It's got a lot of legendaries, but it's really cool. It even uses the 1-buy Hunter Killers, which has been actually really crazy good for me. It's another card that really does like to get buffed up via the hand buff mechanics, and of course it synergizes with a pre-established Doomcrag very well. We've got things like the 3-Feather War Chief, a new card that can set a creature's health to 1 to better facilitate the Tiny Dragons and Sharpshooter Scouts and such when you don't have a vampire there. And of course, we're running the 2 Black Soul Gems, which allow for whenever a friendly creature dies, gives a random creature in the hand +1/+1, as well as Moon-Touched Guardians to buff the hand. Really just a great way to go ahead and strengthen the this archetype, which it wouldn't mind a little bit more hand buffing effects. You could go with the Emperor's Attendants, but I found that there was a lot of aggro, so I really wanted to make sure I had a lot of early game answers. So we have things like Barrowstalkers, Aldvalathi Assassins, Skinned Hounds. You don't always want to use your Zealots and Sharpshooters and Tiny Dragons. You don't really always want to use those to clear things early game, because you want to be able to pair them later with the Doomcrag Vampire and the 3-Feather War Chief. So it's nice to have those other 2 drops that are going to be able to help secure the early game. Of course, Galen the Shelter is excellent. You almost always want to throw it on the Fated Wraith if you can, because Fated Wraith is how you're going to be able to draw through your deck and eventually use Journey to Sovngarde. Besides that, everything out here is pretty control-y, pretty standard if you're familiar with Doomcrag, so I'm not going to go into too much detail. Odirner Necromancer is the 1 copy. This is a card that I think you could go up to 2 copies. I think 3 copies gets a little too expensive. So Odirner Necromancer is great because it can pull back Tiny Dragons if you already have a Doomcrag Vampire in the lane. But because of the fact that you have so many other higher priority targets to buff with your hand buff stuff, basically, Fated Wraith, but also Ashlander Zealot can be an excellent target for hand buffing. I found that it's probably not necessary to run too many extra copies. I think 2 would be the most you'd want to run. A couple things that you could look into removing: Bloodcrazed Daedroth. You could consider putting an Emperor's Attendant here, where the Bloodcrazed Daedroth is. You could also cut a Daedroth and add that Necromancer we were just talking about. You could also find room for another Stormcloak Vanguard if you like. So there's quite a few things. If you want to go a little bit teching more against control and you want a little bit more longevity, Ash Berserkers could be in this deck. You could even put a single Disciple of Namira. I don't think the card is bad. It's just harder to use, and so you'd run maybe like 1 copy to increase the card draw for the control mirror. But this one is specifically teched and tuned to be able to try to survive aggro. So it's a little bit less greedy. Still has the excellent late game thanks to Journey to Sovngarde. That's about it, guys. I'm going to link, or I'm going to attach a couple videos from today's gameplay so you guys can see how the deck operates. I'll have the deck code down in the description. If you enjoy the video, please leave a like. It's much appreciated. If you haven't subscribed yet, consider doing so you can see whenever I get new videos out for Tessel, Mythgard, or Gwent, all of which I post videos on. fairly frequently. And finally, if you have any ideas for the list, if you have questions about how it operates or anything like that, go ahead and put it down in the comments. I always read the comments, and I try to respond to as much as I can. So, yeah, that's about it, guys. Enjoy this Doomcrag. It's not dead yet. It's making a comeback, and I hope you get a kick out of these games. All right, here we go. Playing against another warrior. Cool. After this game, I'm going to take a quick break so I can use the restroom and grab some coffee. Just letting you guys know. We're going to ditch all of these. Maybe I keep a rapid shot. Yeah, I'll keep a rapid shot, toss the others. There we go.
Oh my god, I'm so excited. I wish I could wet my pants.
Hey, Asami. Welcome, welcome. Good to see you. Thank you so much for the raid. It's really awesome to have you. And everyone coming over from Asami's stream, welcome to the Dead Broke Nerd. We are playing some Doomcrag Vampire Warrior. We're being the degenerate players that we are and using Fated Wraith this time as our draw engine as opposed to Disciple of Namira. Yes, vampires indeed. I'm honestly, I really like this deck. I really like it. Sure. Our Tiny Dargan gets buffed. Of course, we wish we had some better things to buff, but yeah. We do have, yeah, we're playing Doomcrag there, Janix. That's a young mammoth, though. Whoa. Let's go Ashlander Zealot, Bloodcrazed Daedroth.
Death to the tribunal's lackey.
Well, that's a Doomcrag. The Red Year and the Journey being in the hand at the beginning are not feeling super great. Frankly, I get the feeling with this deck that like you really need to not draw those super expensive cards early. Oh no, that's less good. That's less than good. I mean, we can go like Tiny Dargan, Bloodcrazed Daedroth, and just keep playing into this lane. Daedroth would cycle. We'd lose our last ring though, and then we'd have nothing to play on the future turn. We haven't lost a rune yet though. I mean, eventually we'll get card draw back because of that. Maybe we just play the Bloodcrazed Daedroth by itself and not get the card draw. But I mean, I'm gonna do it. We're gonna get greedy. Ah, Sharpshooter Scout. That's good. And now we do have something to pair with the Doomcrag in a couple turns. The real question is if my opponent's going to keep trading or if he's going to hit me in the face, you know? One goes to the face. Let's see about the other one.
Time to die.
That one too.
Easy as hunting a
Candle Hearth Brawler. Well, that makes a lot of sense. Force me to trade in there. Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. Well, this is actually really good. That pickup here was top notch. That's why we ended up leaving all three in the list. Boop. And pass.
Make your peace dark.
Young Mamorth. And a Haunting Spirit. All right, well, I think we're going to go with... this is actually quite interesting. Like, if I play Doomcrag this turn, right? Like, I have everything I want for the next turn. But if Doomcrag dies, then I'm screwed. Like, if I can play Doomcrag this turn in Shadow and have it not be messed with, I think I just win the game. But if it not, I just straight up lose the game. 2 cards. Needs to have, like, what? A Shadowfen? I mean, this is a pretty standard aggro warrior. I feel like they're not going to be running a lot of things that can interact with Shadowlane creatures. He's been curving out all game. It's not like he undercurved for something. Going for it. We're going for it. Cross the fingers. Hope he doesn't have the answer. That's a pretty important turn here. Ooh, the Hunter Killers. That's pretty awesome. Brawler. And Withered Hand. Okay. Alright. So we're going to go Hunter Killers. Right? And then either the Sharpshooter or the Zealot, depending on where this lands. Right? So it's going to be... And we want it to... So, we go Hunter Killers. We eat the Brawler first. No, we eat the... Yeah. So we go... Battle. This rolls onto... Oh, we don't get to know now, do we? Alright, well, we'll just take this one then. That one gets the buff. Well, I guess if he takes this trade, it's okay. Let's see, which one's better for us down the road? Deal 1 damage or battle? I think we want the deal 1 damage.
My arrow shall fly true.
I don't think we take that trade. We want him to take this trade. Otherwise, we keep getting to do Doomcrag things.
We stand united. Let's see what you've got.
Orc Clan Captain does make that trade and deals a single point of damage. Oh my goodness, we have the Halalu Sharpshooter. That's perfect timing. So we go Galen, Sharpshooter, and then we put an Alvalathi field.
I will keep Sothasil's people alive.
I only need one shot. I slay the unworthy.
There we go. Two turns till I can red year. We're just gonna need to hang on until then. Obviously, we want to see that Faded Wraith get a buff somewhere in here.
Ready to die. Do you not fear me more?
Sower.
You should.
Ooh, I don't like that. I don't like that. I mean, we have to do it, though.
They missed their shot.
The question is, do we want a rapid shot and cycle? I think we do want a rapid shot.
Hold still.
Black Soul Gem, perfect. Now the question here actually is, do I want to risk the Ashlander Zealot getting the buff? I think I get 3 buffs here, right?
Should have been more worthy.
We want to do that last.
Fire.
Hello there.
Shush.
Should have been more worthy.
Okay. We need a Necro Amulet or a Barrow Stalker. Like, we need healing. Is there a way we can... I think we just have to slam it for the cycle. Draw 2. Let's do this. Three Feather War Chief is okay. It's alright. Faded Wraith. There's the Necro Amulet. Yes. Alright. We need to not die before then.
Do you not fear me?
No! No!
Close ranks. Let
No! That should not be allowed. Oh my goodness, another Fated Wraith. Well, we want our stuff to die so we can heal, right? So, let's see. How do we want to dissect this? If we go, like, Ashlander Zealot and trade, this dies, right? We need to kill both. I suppose we could just Red Year, right? If we Red Year, we lose 5, but we heal 3. And then we buff. Lose 5, heal 3, buff 3. It's not bad. Because we need to kill both of these 100%. And that means we're going 3 feather. Yeah. So we'll stabilize that. So we'll lose 5, go to 2, and then jump 3. Do I want to throw one more thing in here so we... I can't. I would have to be the alpha. Alright. So we're at 5. That does not instill confidence in me, gotta be honest.
Go on. Try
What
to
got discarded there?
I slay the unworthy.
Alright. I'm gonna bet that this was a chargy guy. With the Wood Orc Headhunter, or a what's the one that guys, what's the one that charges and removes shadow cover? It doesn't matter, does it? We'll just go Stormcloak Vanguard.
must take back Skyrim.
We'll go... How many cards are in my deck? 21?
There. A fine display.
If I play this, I draw 4 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Overflow 1.
My aid is ready. Should have been more work.
Hello there.
Shush. You either got lethal or you don't. And I'm going to keep healing as much as I can.
We must protect our stronghold.
How much damage do we have? Like, at what point do we start going face? I don't think we do it yet. Like,
Orders.
let's see. We've got 3 feather and tiny dragon. Like, we just need to set up lethal, right?
Death to the tribunal's lackeys.
What did you expect? A friendly greeting?
Okay. I mean, that's scary. But it happens. He still has to heal me by trading. Is this lethal? 4, 8, 10. This is not lethal yet.
Hello there.
Oh, wait. So it's shush you. 10. I have lethal with the sword. Okay. So let's just go ahead and swing.
We obey. We obey.
7.
Too late for you. Should have been more worthy. Should have been more worthy.
Sword. And that's game! We got him! Oh, man. Very much the tortoise in that matchup. The tortoise against the hare. But we got him. It took ourselves some time to get stabilized. It was really close. That second sower scared the crap out of me. Good game. Really good game.